This week, Cyril's in Cuba. He's here for 4 days, but he's got no time for the nightlife.
Yes!
Once, there was a boy who loved to fish. Now he's all grown up, but nothing has changed. Meet Cyril Chauquet, the fishing adventurer, passionate fisherman on a mission to catch fish around the world. Whether it's spinning, on the fly, or trolling, he'll go anywhere to find the big ones. It's all about the thrill of the chase and the love of fishing. So grab your rod and reel and hit the water with the fishing adventurer.
Taxi! Here I am. I'm in Cuba. I'm right here in Havana right now. I'm here for less than a week actually. And this guy here is gonna take me fishing. Vamos a la pesca? Vamos! Gracias!
Last time Cyril was in Cuba on a special permit, he was just in time for Hurricane Isidore. The weather was so bad he couldn't fish at all. He met some great people though, and he hopes to hook up with them again, and this time get into some fishing. Cyril's taxi driver turns onto the Malecon, right on the waterfront. It's one of the most famous avenues in all of Cuba.
Mira, pescadores.
When Cyril sees some locals fishing from the breakwater, he can't help it. He's got to stop and see what's going on.
Hola. ¿Cómo está? Bien. Bien. ¿Qué están haciendo vosotros? Pescando. Bueno, pescando. ¿Pero qué?
Paco, cubera, cualquier cosa. Sí, buena.
¿Grande?
Sí, grande. ¿Vas a pescar?
Sí, tengo mi vara aquí. Pongo aquí. Parece pequeño, pero hay 300 metros de línea.
Claro. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow.
¿Gusta la vara?
Bueno, muchacho, yo tengo eso y me muero. Ay, no duermo. No duermo. ¿Tú sabes lo que es dormir? Me meto y la miro todos los días, a toda hora, así. No duermo, ni siquiera tengo a pescar. ¿Estás loco? Muchacho, eso es lo último.
Pesca más.
Cyril explains to his new fishing buddy that he should let the lure drop down deeper, closer to the reef, where snappers usually hang out.
No, ¿para qué no le fue eso? ¿Le coge?
Ah, sí, si lo ves, lo hago.
Aquí hay poco pescado.
Poco, ¿eh?
Muy difícil. Si te cogen la cogió la pacora.
No, fondo. These guys are so nice. My bait got stuck at the bottom. He's going out there with his little buoy to get it back. Because every time they get something stuck at the bottom, they can't afford to buy a new bait. They go out there and they get it back.
This time, it's definitely not the bottom. Cyril's first fish in Cuba, a little Jack Crevel.
Cogí un pescado, el único que lo ha cogido tú. Nadie ha cogido un pescado. Increíble. Pero mira, nosotros venimos a pescar todos los días, es increíble. Ese hombre yo voy a cogerle un pescado.
Y lo cogió. Muchas gracias. Lo cogí gracias a ti.
Later in the day, the Malecon takes on a very different personality. The tide has pulled back to reveal the reef that Cyril was fishing earlier. With its many bars and clubs, Havana nightlife has much to offer, but Cyril's got to get some sleep, while local fishermen keep on fishing late into the night. Coming up, Cyril gets some action from the top of a bridge. He then ventures deep into the Cuban jungle, chasing tarpon. Cyril's in Cuba to do some fishing. His first stop was in Havana, where he met with a group of local fishermen fishing from the breakwater. He caught his first fish, a little Jack Crevalle.
Got my dinghy, my little boat. Let's go meet Felipe now. Let's go catch some tarpon.
Cyril is leaving Havana. His final destination is Jaguey Grande, where he'll meet with his friend Felipe, who knows where to find tarpon on the Rio Hatiguanico. But first, he wants to stop and spend the day fishing with another Cuban fishing buddy, Quintin, who lives in Santa Clara.
Hola, Quintin.
Cyril.
Quintin will take Cyril fishing from some bridges along the Pedroplan, a highway built into the ocean. This road was built by the government to encourage tourism in the Keys of the North Coast.
¿Y cuántos puentes son?
Son 48 puentes.
From the top of the bridge, Cyril drops a yellow bucktail jig into the current, hoping for a hungry fish to be around.
Oh! I don't know what it is, I still don't know. It's running with the current. I gotta bring it to the side of the bridge.
Cyril's challenge now is to keep tension on the line while working his way to the end of the bridge and down to the water, where he can get a hand on his fish. It's a Jack Crevalle, like the one he caught in Havana yesterday, but bigger.
A Jack from the bridge. There we go.
In Cuba, the signs are more about revolution than direction, but Cyril still manages to make it to his friend Felipe, who knows where to find tarpon on a nearby river, the Hatiguanico.
Felipe.
Hey.
Hola, amigo.
No te creo.
¿Cómo estás?
¿Y tú?
¿Hace mucho tiempo?
Oh.
¿Que no cambiaste?
¿Cuándo? No, estoy igual. Un poquito más gordito, puede ser.
No time to waste. It's time to go fishing.
Entonces, ¿vamos a coger sábado?
Depende mucho de ti también.
Felipe takes us down a series of smaller and smaller roads towards the Rio Hatiguanico, passing through Cuba's wetlands, the largest in the entire Caribbean. Time to head downriver, closer to the ocean, where the big fish hang out.
Lo más importante.
Caña, la caña.
With the equipment loaded, Cyril and Felipe head off into the jungle.
Tired, but it's gonna be so good to catch some fish. It's gonna feel great. I've been dying to come back to this river. Last time I came here, I got stranded. I couldn't even fish. I couldn't even get to the water.
The area around the Rio is a natural refuge teeming with wildlife, and there's no hurricane this time around. Some Cubans call these yellow bucktail jigs pollitos. These jigs generally work well for tarpon, so Cyril is going to start with one of those.
Yes! Ah! Snagged. Me cogí. That's what happens when you try to fish too close to structure. You get snagged. You know, like, fish usually like structure. That's where they hide. That's where, you know, like all the little fish come in to feed and hide themselves. And that's where the predators hang out because they know they're going to find food. I got my little pollito back.
Está todo lleno.
Felipe, ¿qué hacemos con el pollito? ¿No funciona ese pollito? Hay sábado por todos lados, saltan por todos lados. Oh man, there's tarpon everywhere. Nothing's happening with the little pollito. He says use a popper, something that makes a lot of noise at the surface. I'll put that popper right here.
Vamos, Cyril, apúrate.
Hago lo que quiero.
Even though very little is known about tarpon, one sure thing is they are strong fish, and Cyril takes the time to make sure he ties strong knots.
That's a popper. I can't explain what it is, you're just gonna see for yourselves. He was right. That's the popper. Felipe. Yeah, amigo.
Vamos a ponerlo aquí.
Un sábado pequeño. Ah. Felipe. Small tarpon. Baby tarpon. That's what we call a baby tarpon. Chico. Gracias. There's a jungle fishing here. Look.
Stick around as Cyril heads deeper into the jungle, where the fish get bigger and the fishing wilder. Cyril's in Cuba fishing with his friend Felipe. His yellow jig worked really well on the jacks yesterday, but the tarpon don't seem to care for it today. So he switched for a popper, which is definitely paying off.
There's a jungle fishing here. Look. That's a great spot. It's beautiful. Oh, yes.
Another tarpon on the line. That popper is working.
Venga. Aquí.
Cyril's found the right trick. A nice noisy popper is all it takes to get these tarpon into predator mode.
Mira por ahí.
Palo por todos lados.
The deeper they go into this river system, the more overgrown it becomes and the more tarpon they see breaking the surface.
This place is crazy. There's so many trees all over the place that I can't even get a cast, like anywhere, because there's trees, there's mangrove. Tarpon shower. That looks like a 15-pounder.
They might not be the biggest ones, but on light tackle, silver kings this size are plenty big enough to give you a good fight.
That's starting to be some serious tarpon. ¿Cuánto? ¿15 libras?
Más o menos, 6-7 kilos. ¿Eh?
Vamos a cogerlo, el grande.
Hay más
allá?
adentro, más adentro.
Lo vamos a coger.
Tiene que intentar revivirlo.
Now it's time for you to go back, huh? Because it fought a lot. I have to make it breathe a bit. Se va. Amigo.
Cyril and Felipe keep pushing deeper and deeper into the Hatiguanico river system. The further they penetrate into the jungle, the better the fishing gets. And pretty soon, they'll be as far in as this boat can take them.
Hay manglar por todos lados.
Está todo cerrado. Ya, ahora todo empieza así. Se cierra. Se ve actividad, pero no se puede pasar.
Looks like there's even better tarpon waters further in, and Cyril's not about to let a little thing like the jungle keep him from catching more fish, so he sets to work blowing up his small inflatable boat. This tiny boat with its electric motor ought to take him places where even Felipe has never been fishing. go away as Cyril gets into some wild tarpon action.
Yes!
Cyril and Felipe have been getting some intense topwater tarpon fishing, but the river is too narrow for their boat to make it deeper into the Cuban jungle. However, Cyril has an ace up his sleeve. With their hard, bony jaws, tarpon often just spit out the hooks. That's one way to catch and release. Cyril's hooked a fat one this time. It's pulling his little boat back and forth across the river.
Yes! There's some tarpon. Rio Hatiguanico tarpon, made in Cuba. Check this out. Take the mouth on this thing.
It must be another 15-pounder, but it's time to get this big fella back in the water.
I'm getting this fish to swim again on its own, trying to make it breathe. Bye-bye, dude. Jungle tarpon fishing. That is great. Should get going. Felipe is waiting for me there, getting eaten by mosquitoes, but this is too good. This is too good to be true. I can't let go. We got a ways to go back though.
Finding out-of-the-way fishing holes like that one wasn't easy, but all that work was worth it. Cyril was rewarded with a pretty wild last afternoon of fishing that made his trip to Cuba. Let's just hope Felipe didn't get tired of waiting and head home for a mojito.
Oye, Felipe.
Dime.
La pesca, una locura.
Me lo imaginé.
Sábados, así, lo más grande así, una locura. El popper lo tiraba por todos los lados y los sábados. Ahí. Disculpa la molesta porque estaba pescando y pescando y pescando y sabe cómo uno es.
Conozco eso.
That was so good. I caught so many tarpon. This guy got me in a really good plan. I couldn't believe this quantity of smaller type tarpon. That was so fantastic. Tarpon festival.